This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's
Just a couple of minutes, guys. We'll get started. I'm just waiting for everyone to join. A very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our comprehensive Python course. I see some of you not part of my demo, so we'll get started with a couple of questions. So, how many of you are joining from this session? I mean, this is your first session. Who were not part of my demo?
yeah. This is Shalini. This is my first session.
Okay. So, guys, one instruction. I mean, we have a lot of students join. So, I would recommend you to use your chat window as much as possible. Okay, in the interest of recording, because this session is also being recorded. Okay, you can probably acknowledge me in the chat window. If you don't want to send message to everyone, you can select me and send it to me. You'll see my name Suresh underscore trainer. Okay. So just want to check, how many of you are joining for the first time? Okay, cool. No worries, guys. I see a lot of folks joining, for the first time today's session. Not a problem. I'm gonna, repeat what I have explained in demo. Okay, so not a problem, right? First, let me introduce myself, guys. I'm Suresh. I'm going to be your trainer for Python, and I'm carrying close to 7.5 years of experience, industry experience, I would say. Okay, so I'm a data engineer. I'm working as a data engineer in one of the MNC and have been working on Python for almost 5 years now. Okay, have been working on Python for 5 years now. I work for Tata Consultancy Services. I work for a couple of big four firms, Ernst and Young and Deloitte. And I have worked for one of the asset management firms, Franklin Templeton. I don't want to reveal my current organization though, but yes, I carry more than 7.5 years of experience, industry experience. And talking about my training experience, I have close to 5+ years of experience in training. Okay, so I have trained more than 3,000 students on big data technologies, and currently I'm training students on a couple of technologies. One is data engineering, Azure data engineering, I would say, and Python. Okay, so Python I started couple of years back, and I have trained more than 15 batches now. Right now, I think your batch number would be 16. Okay, so this is a brief introduction about me, guys, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. Okay, so I have this Microsoft data engineering certification done, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. Right, so I'm just telling you this to ensure you that you are in a safe hands. Okay. Now, would like to hear from you. Like I said, when I say hear from you, I don't want you to unmute and talk because the session is being recorded. But you can probably, paste your responses in the chat window. This is what I'm looking for. For example, my name is Suresh, and then I have 7 years of experience, or maybe 7+ years of experience, whatever your experience is. And then current technology, let's say, or current role, maybe a data engineer or a ETL developer or a tester, or if you are a fresher, just mention fresher. And I also want you to um, enter your reason for joining this session. Your reason could be maybe learning data science, or maybe learning PySpark to get into a data engineer role, or maybe learning full stack to become a full stack developer. If you are a fresher, maybe for job. Okay, so I want to see your responses in this template: your name, and then your experience, and then your current role, and then the reason for joining this course. Okay, hi Srikanth, hey Aditya, hey Rahul, hey Vineet, hey Pankaj, hi Pawan, hi Bharat, hi Bhargav, Lokeshwar, Divija, and Shalini, Harshita, hi Pavani. Cool, nice to meet you all. And today I'm gonna set up right expectations, guys, so that you'll not have any miscommunication or under expectations or over expectations. Okay, So today's agenda, I'm gonna walk you through the course and I'm gonna tell you what exactly you're gonna get with this course. Okay, and um, then I'm gonna spend some time answering your questions. You might be having a lot of questions in your mind. Maybe you see a lot of people from different background, experienced folks, and we also have the freshers. Okay, now let me touch base on a few things before we jump on to our actual course. Okay, and this session wouldn't be repeated again, guys. Okay, so you have any questions, this is the right opportunity and the right platform to ask. Okay, first let me walk you through the course, and I'll also give you justification why this course is called as comprehensive Python course. Okay, and I'll also walk you through applications of Python. Okay, and what this course has to offer you. Okay, now it doesn't matter how much experience you carry, but I'm gonna treat every one of you as a fresher. Okay, I assume you don't have programming knowledge at all. Okay, I have seen a few experienced folks from ETL. I don't expect them to have knowledge on Python, but I do expect them to have knowledge on SQL and data modeling techniques. Okay, if they are not a typical big data engineer until and unless they work on PySpark or MapReduce earlier, I don't expect them to have some programming background. Okay, now that is the reason I'm gonna treat every one of you as a fresher, so you don't really need to worry about your experience. And this is what I'm going to teach you guys. So we are going to start with the basics of Python, where we will be spending couple of weeks of quality time to understand basics of Python. I'm going to show you the installation and setup. We are going to use a couple of tools, guys. One tool is a Collab notebook, collaboratory notebook, which is a free tool given by Google. Okay, so all you just need to have is a Gmail account. If you have a Gmail account, you can use Collab for free of cost. Okay, so the reason I have chosen Collab is, maybe you want to become a data engineer or maybe you want to become a data scientist, you would be using this notebook kind of environment. Okay, so I can alternately choose Jupyter Notebook as well, but Jupyter Notebook is an on-premise environment. When I say on-premise environment, you would write your code on your machine. Okay, so I want yourself to get acquainted with the cloud resources because cloud is going to be the future. Nobody would put some effort or bother about installing and maintaining these softwares in your local machine. Okay, so system requirements, I would say zero. If you are able to open a Chrome browser and if you are able to access some websites, you are good to go with this course. Okay, so I'm going to use Collab Notebook so that data scientists and data engineers can get a hang of how the applications can be developed, aspiring data scientists and data engineers. And I'm also going to show you PyCharm. Okay, so I would be using PyCharm only after module 3, guys. Okay, and that too for a week or maximum 10 days, right? And for using PyCharm, you would be installing PyCharm software in your local machine. When I say local machine, your PC, personal computers, your laptops. Okay, so these are the couple of tools which you will get used to, and I'll also be showing how to install Python in your Windows machine. Okay, and then run Python without a PyCharm environment or a Google Colab environment. Again, we are not going to spend too much of time there, but just to make our course look complete, I'm going to cover that up. Okay, so initially we start with Collab, and then I'm gonna talk about the variables and nomenclature of our course, right? Keywords, variables, and different data types we have, and then the important concepts, control structures, where I'm gonna talk about conditional statements. When I say conditional statements, we'll get to learn about how we can use if clause and then if else and then nested if else, right? And then loops, for loop and while loop. Do while loop is not supported in Python, but I'm going to show you how you can do that workaround. Okay, and we're going to talk about infinite loops, and then we're going to talk about control statements, like continue, break, and pass, that are supported in Python. Then I'm going to show you how you can leverage arrays using Python, though the arrays is not much preferred in Python. Okay, I mean, we do use arrays in NumPy, arrays that are defined in NumPy package, but not Python arrays. Okay, instead of Python arrays, we would prefer using Python lists. Okay, but just to make you understand what exactly a list is and how it is superior to arrays and why users prefer lists over arrays, I'm going to give you some introduction to arrays as well. Okay, so that you will appreciate lists. Then we talk about Python functions, how you create Python functions, and then some Python built-in functions. Then we talk about some inbuilt modules like string functions, and then Python date, calendar, and time delta. Okay. Then I'm gonna walk you through Python lambda functions. So this is pretty much important for someone who is looking for your career into data engineering. Okay, especially PySpark. And then I'm going to talk about Python modules, what exactly a Python module is, how you can create Python module, so on and so forth. Then I'm going to talk about file IO. Okay, so when I say file IO, here we are going to talk about how you can read data from a file, write data to a file, and different file types too. How you can read and write data to and from a text file, and a CSV file, Excel file, and also JSON file. Okay, so we'll talk about what exactly a JSON file is, or a JSON data is, and then how you can use Python APIs to write and read data from a JSON file. And then the most important topic, guys, collections or collections framework. We also refer to this topic as data structures sometimes. Okay, so here I'm going to talk about four important collections. One is a list, and second one is set. Third one is dict. Dict is the most important collections among all the collections. I mean, not just list, not just dict, dict and list as well. And then we're gonna talk about set, and I'm gonna wrap up this collections module by talking by discussing frozen sets. Okay, and then we will get to learn how one collection can be converted to another collection. Say, for example, how you can create a dictionary from a list, and how you can extract keys from a dict, values from a dict. Okay, so whatever the topics I'm going to cover in this module are completely interview oriented, guys. Okay, so let me tell you something here. A couple of years back, or maybe 3 years back, when I was interviewed for a data engineer role, nobody was asking me any questions on programming language, because the basic expectation from the companies or industry is that I just need to know SQL. If you are good at SQL, they are more than happy to have you on board. But the scenario has taken a U-turn now. Okay, so though you are a data engineer, though you are a SQL guy, they are expecting you to have some Python knowledge. Okay, so the interviews which I'm attending recently, right? I am being asked questions on Python. You know, questions on especially these collections, and then some basic questions on implementing some use cases, like creating a to-a function. And again, like it might sound little French and Latin to you at this point in time, but it will make more sense, and when we start discussing about all these topics. Okay, so I'm gonna cover those questions as well for our practice. Okay, and then next module is about object-oriented programming structures, or OOPS concepts. Here we'll get to learn about what exactly a class is, what exactly an object is, and then how you can create a constructor, what is the use of a constructor, and then this keyword. Then we'll talk about different types of methods we have, where you can expect a lot of questions in your interviews, like difference between instance method, difference between static method, difference between class method, class variables, instance variables. And then we'll talk about inheritance. Okay, and we talk about different types of inheritance. And there is one type of inheritance called multiple inheritance, right? And it is supported in Python and C++, but not in Java. So we'll talk about what is that limitation with Java and how Python was able to overcome that limitation. And then there is this problem called famous problem called diamond problem. We'll talk about that diamond problem with an example. Okay, because these are the areas where you can expect a lot of questions. And then we talk about method overriding, we talk about class abstraction, dunder methods, a lot of interesting topics, guys. Okay, and then comes the fourth module, miscellaneous topics. Okay, here I'm going to talk about exception handling, how you can handle exceptions in Python using try block and then except block, and then you have finally block. Okay, I'm going to talk about the usages and different scenarios, how these blocks would how behave. Okay, and then we'll talk about regular expressions, again pretty handy topic for aspiring data scientists and data engineers. Okay, and then Python assertion, Python JSON. So Python JSON by now would be covered here. Okay, so though they are mentioned separately, sometimes to have the continuity, we might we might jumble the topics. Like I said, Python JSON would be covered here itself. Okay, so to complete this file IO. Okay, and then we'll talk about Python decorators and generators, when they will be used, why they will be used, right? Okay, so these four are the modules which I'm gonna deep dive, guys, and we'll have a lot of examples. Okay, like I said, you know we will be starting with a simple examples, like what is an Armstrong number, or maybe printing a Fibonacci series, or maybe checking if a given number is prime or not, because these are the ones which would give you that understanding on programming. Okay, and then we'll try to implement some use cases, right? And probably once we cover a set of topics, I'm gonna conduct workshops uh, on a regular basis, sorry, on a regular intervals, I would say. Okay, so for example, your first workshop would be after completing these four topics. Okay, so arrays and functions will also be completed. So probably once we are done with these topics, we'll have our first workshop where we will gamify our learning. Okay, so we try to kind of um, you know do some kind of implement some kind of games. Okay, and then working with these collections, we will do some interesting examples here as well, like implementing a telephone directory application, implementing a simple login application, and then we will also deep dive, like why sets are faster. And once I'm done with all the collections, we will try to create a table of differences, when to go for what collection and how these collections are different from each other. Okay, given a scenario, what collection you would choose, we will have this type of discussion. Okay, summarizing whatever we have learned. And here I'm gonna deep dive as well. I'm gonna walk you through what happens behind the scenes. Say for example, you create a list, what happens internally, how the list is treated internally, or how the memory is allocated in your RAM. Similarly for sets. Okay, sets uses something called as hash maps. So what exactly are these hash maps, and how this hashing is done, or how these hash tables are created? I'm going to walk you through all of them. Okay, so like I said, first four modules I'm going to deep dive like anything, guys. Okay, and at the end of module 3, we are gonna do our second workshop, where we will be implementing a uh, payment system. Okay, so we'll take a call center use case, and we will implement a payment system which would tell us how much to pay to the employees based on various parameters. Okay, so there we are gonna summarize whatever we have learned till then, and we'll try to get the hands on with the use case. And from module 5, don't expect me to deep dive into these modules, guys. Okay, so these modules are included to justify the name of our course, comprehensive Python course. Okay, so Python has a lot of applications, guys, and you might already know that Python is the most happening programming language in the industry right now. Okay, so I would say Python is everywhere. So for example, more than SQL, people are looking for Python skill set for data engineers, cloud data engineers, especially who wanted to use Databricks or PySpark. Okay, and you want to get into data science again for developing data science applications. Though you have other programming languages like R and all, Python is the most preferred programming language. Python is the guy. Okay, and maybe you want to become a full stack. Maybe in full stack region, Python might not be the most wanted guy at this point in time because it's little behind Java. It's little behind Java at this point in time. For full stack development, Java is the most preferred one, but Python do have some good opportunities. And then let's say you are a fresher and you want to get into a job. Again, Python is the most happening right now. Most of the industries or most of the organizations are training students or freshers on Python first and deploying them into multiple projects. The reason why they are doing that is if you could learn Python and if they can train you on Python, they believe you can scale up on any technology. Okay, because like I said, Python is everywhere these days. Okay, so in Python for data science, I'm gonna walk you through a few modules, guys. One is NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. I'm gonna spend 3-4 hours there, not more than that, to give you a hang of how these packages can be leveraged for data science applications. So, for example, in NumPy, we are gonna talk about NumPy arrays, multi-dimension NumPy arrays, one dimension, two dimension, and then how you can do all the mathematical functions, right? Maybe how you do descriptive analytics, how you do inferential statistics. Okay, and I'm gonna show you a simple image processing example. Okay, maybe we'll try to take a photo and we'll try to edit it. So a photo can be considered as a three-dimensional array, okay, where you have RGB values. So I'm going to give you all those basics, maybe basics of image processing, and then we try to edit that photo. Like, we do simple operations like cropping and then rotating that photo, and then maybe, highlighting the red component, highlighting the blue component. We try to do such kind of experimentation there. Okay, so that it will give you the feel of how a NumPy arrays can be used in real time data science applications. Then I'm going to talk about pandas again. We'll talk about what exactly a pandas series is, what exactly a pandas data frame is. Okay, and then I'm gonna walk you through an example. We'll take a Titanic dataset, pretty famous Titanic dataset, and we'll try to do some kind of exploratory data analytics using pandas functions, using Matplotlib and Seaborn. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through Seaborn as well. So there you will get to learn, how exploratory analytics can be done. And most of the data science applications, right, would expect a data frame as a parameter. Like I said, maybe you are using a logistic regression, or maybe you want to run a random forest algorithm. You don't really need to implement the code for the same. You have the functions directly available. You'll have to import the respective module and call that function. And that function would expect your data in the form of a data frame. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how that data frame can be built using pandas. I'm not gonna teach you what is logistic regression or random forest, but I'm gonna teach you, how your data frame can be built. Okay, so that maybe if you join a data science course, looking at that code, you'll not feel something new or alien. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna spend a couple of hours for pandas, matplotlib, and seaborn. I'm gonna show you some visualizations, not all, maybe histograms, and then I'll show you violin plot, and then I'll also talk about how you can do some analysis there just by looking at those graphs. Okay, like I said, this would give you a feel for using Python in data science, but don't expect complete knowledge on NumPy, Pandas, or Matplotlib or whatever the packages I'm mentioning there. And then we'll be moving to Python JDBC. So here I'm going to talk about what exactly is a JDBC connection is, and then we'll talk about difference between JDBC and ODBC drivers, and I'm going to show you how you can create how you can do the CRUD operations like create, read, update, and delete using your Python code. Okay, I know some of you are freshers and you might not have exposure to RDBMS, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna spend a couple of hours explaining what exactly the data related terminology is, and then we'll make sure that you are comfortable with basic operations of RDBMS. Okay, and then we'll try to do that using Python code here. Okay, so we are gonna spend like 3 hours for Python, JDBC, and SQL. SQL, I'm not going to teach anything in SQL. Maybe if this is misleading you, I would put it in Python JDBC. And then our last module, which is web programming using Django and Flask. Here as well, just an introduction, guys. I'm going to introduce what exactly a web application is. We'll talk about, what a web server is, what a client system is, and how the interaction between web server and client happens. We'll talk about HTTP request and response. This is all theory. Okay, and what front-end technologies are, and what are the different back-end technologies we have, and how we gonna connect these both. Okay, this is all theoretical discussion we'll have, and then I'm gonna show you how to set up Django environment in your PyCharm, and how to set up your Flask environment in your PyCharm, and we'll just create a hello world application, a hello world web application. Like when you run your code, you will be able to see that hello world on your web browser. Okay, so don't expect a deep dive in module 5, 6, and 7, guys, but it will give you, a hang of, how Python can be used in those respective areas. So that maybe if you take a course from a new course or a dedicated course on full stack, you will be pretty comfortable. Maybe you take a dedicated course on data science, you will feel comfortable. Maybe you take a course on data engineering, you will feel comfortable. Okay, so this is the overview of the course I'm gonna teach you, and let me answer few frequently asked questions. Duration of this course is going to be 2 months. Okay, so I would say it would be in between 6 weeks to 8 weeks, guys. No, 7 weeks to 8 weeks. Okay, and how many days in a week? So these sessions are going to be from Monday to Friday, but in some scenarios I might be taking sessions on Saturday as well, but it will be informed to you it will be informed to you well upfront. Okay, so it's not going to be a last minute intimation, but you'll get to know at least 2 days before the session on Saturday. So usually I'll be taking these workshops and other things on Saturdays, guys. Okay, I'll not use our regular classes for workshops because in a workshop you will have a hands-on session, right? So I don't want to disturb our regular sessions for a workshop. Okay, so that's one thing. And maybe in some scenarios, if I get to cancel the session on a weekday, I would be covering up that session on a weekend because I don't want to waste your time, because you might be planning for some other courses post this course, or maybe a data science course, or maybe a data engineer course, or maybe any other course. So I don't want to waste your time taking 2.5 months or 3 months. Okay, I'll wrap it up uh, in 8 weeks. 8 weeks is like the maximum duration I'm gonna take. Okay, so in ideal case it's going to be 7 weeks. Okay, so for any session that is cancelled, I'll gonna take a session on Saturday morning, again IST, so which is going to be Friday evening for folks who are joining from US. Okay, and timings would be the same timing, 7 to 8 a.m. IST. Okay, so I hope I'm able to set up the right expectations, guys. And what are the artifacts I'm gonna show you and recordings of the session would be provided to you. You don't really need to worry about that. We will take care of it. Okay, and what are the artifacts we'll be using for workshop? You will get those resources as well. Okay, so again, I'm not a PPT guy, guys. Okay, I don't believe in PPT. Okay, so I'm not here to walk you through the slides. Okay, so we will use Microsoft Whiteboard for teaching, and then whenever you feel something is relevant, please feel free and take a screenshot. Okay, So for example, this is how it looks like. Okay. And whenever you see something is relevant or something is useful, please feel free and take a screenshot. Like I said, I don't believe in walking you through a PPT, right? So any questions, guys? I already see a couple of questions here. Is Python assertion is for unit test cases? So usually I'm going to explain what exactly a Python assertion is, but I'll not relate it to some technology or some use cases. Okay, so whatever the topics you are seeing under miscellaneous, guys, I'm going to relate them to any use cases. I'm just going to explain what they are and what they are capable of. Okay, and the next question, can I understand the Python without basics? Definitely yes. Like I said, most of the companies are training their candidates or freshers on Python because they feel Python is the easiest way to kickstart their programming career. Okay, so they are recruiting most of the folks from non-computer science background, right? Maybe from ECE, triple or mechanical, and they're training them on Python. And even for my course, basic understanding on computer will do. No other prerequisites are required. Uh, Certificate, I don't believe in this certification, guys. So people keep asking me this question. So certificates and certifications are not really helpful. Your knowledge is what matters at the end of the day. Okay. So, what certificates are good for beginners? I don't see, a good industry certifications for Python, but you can probably take the Microsoft certification if you are really interested to. Instead of these certifications, I would recommend you to have a profile on competitive platforms, competitive programming platforms like HackerRank, HackerEarth, or LeetCode. So that would give you more visibility than certifications. Okay, so I'll be walking you through those steps as well because I would want every one of you to be part of these platforms where you can practice a lot of examples and then you can compare your code with the best code. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions, concerns? I'll be waiting couple of minutes for your questions. If you don't have any questions, I'll be walking you through the Collab environment and we'll close today's session and we'll start our technical topics from tomorrow. We'll start our module 1 from tomorrow because I don't want to, start our module 1 with, 5-10 minutes left. And one request from me, guys, um, I want every one of you to acknowledge for everything, guys, because this is not an offline classroom. So I'll not be able to interpret anything from your facial expressions. Okay, sorry, I don't even, I'll not even be able to see your facial expressions, right? So for me to jump on to the next topic confidently, I would need acknowledgement from you. I mean, this is a basic request, guys. Like we put in a lot of effort, to make you understand a particular topic. Okay, so I just can't move on to the next topic if you are not really comfortable with the current topic. So you guys are responsible for making sure that you understood whatever I'm talking, and ask questions whenever you feel like. Okay. And next question, recorded videos and where. So there are a couple of platforms. It depends on which platform you will be uploaded to. So in one platform, it's going to be Google Drive, and second platform is Google Classroom. Okay, so you'll be known where people, I mean, our coordinators will let you know where you can find your recorded videos, and is it recorded daily, or is it uploaded same day or the next day. So please give us a buffer of 1 day, guys, because once the session is completed, we'll have to convert the recording and then upload it. Okay, so best case same day, worst case next day. You will have a maximum delay of 1 day, not more than that. Okay, so that's the maximum delay you can expect. 1 day, not more than that. I can assure you on that. Okay, and details would be shared with you. If it is a Google Classroom, you'll get a classroom code or classroom invite. If it is a drive, you will get the drive link where you can access these materials. Okay, recordings will be uploaded, but not your Collab notebooks, guys. Collab notebooks wouldn't be uploaded daily basis on a daily basis. I do that intentionally because I don't want you to copy and paste your code. I want you to type it, because that's how you'll make your hands dirty. Okay, so for example, I'm dealing with module 1. Until and unless I complete all these topics in module 1, I'm not gonna upload the Collab notebooks. Okay, so I would be uploading only after completing the complete module 1. Okay, because I want you to type and practice rather than copying and pasting code from my notebook to your notebook. Okay, so that is something which I wanted to tell you here. But you will get all the notebooks, whatever you are seeing on whatever you are seeing in the session, you'll get all the notebooks. Okay, so like I have answered, it's going to be in Drive. Okay, you will get a link from which you can access these recorded videos. Okay, and get yourself acquainted with our Collab notebook, guys. Okay, so all you need to have is a Gmail account, and this is the link, collab.research.google.com. Okay, recording validity is forever or for few months we can access. I might not be the right person to answer that question. You might get back to the administrators. Okay, maybe who have given link for this session. You might have to get back to them to check the validity, because they usually upload it and clean it as and when required. Okay, but if I'm not wrong, it should be forever. You can just type Google Collab in your remember the link, and then the first link you see here, collab.research.google.com, you can just click on it. Okay, and I'm gonna create a new notebook. These are the notebooks which I already have. I'm clicking on new notebook, otherwise I can just cancel this. This is how your collaboratory notebook homepage would look like. Okay, and then top left corner, file, new notebook. So this is how your collab environment would look like, guys. Okay, so I would always love to call this as playground. and your batch number 16. Okay. So this is how your Collab notebook would look like. Now, to run my code, I'll have to connect this notebook to the environment, okay, or the Python environment. I'm just clicking on connect. Okay, so this is the notebook. Now it is getting connected to the cloud environment or cloud resources where the Python is installed. Okay, now Google is giving you some good resources, guys. If you see, you have got Python 3 Google Compute Engine backend. So basically, what are the code you're gonna submit here would be running on a machine which is having Python 3 installed. Okay, and you have some good space as well. I mean, they give you some good resources. If you see, you almost got 13 GB RAM, and you have got close to 100 GB disk space. Okay, so it's a beautiful system, guys. I mean, it's a pretty high-end system, right? You should be able to do some kind of complex operations as well here using this Google Colab. Though we'll not be doing a lot of memory intensive coding in our course, but you can try them out. Okay, and somebody have talked about APIs. So maybe you want more guidance related to your technology, or maybe you want me to take a couple of sessions on a particular topic. You can send us a special request, guys. If we think that is relevant to every one of you, we will take take it in a class. Otherwise, we'll have a one-on-one meeting where we can talk about those topics. Say, for example, couple of batches back, we have removed the concept called REST API. So till then, we used to have this topic called REST API, where I used to show the requests module using which you can call a REST API. It could be a get method or it could be a post method. But from the feedback from the students, we keep on evolving our course, guys, based on industry requirements, based on requests of the students. We remove couple of topics which we feel are not required, and we add couple of topics which we feel are relevant. Okay, so these modifications would keep on happening, okay, to improvise our course, right? So your feedback is most valuable one, and if someone want me to take couple of sessions, I'm totally okay. Just get back to us, and then we'll schedule a one-on-one meeting if we think that is completely relevant to you. Okay, but if it is something which would help everyone in the session, we'll take extra sessions, so that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, that's all I have, guys. And thank you so much for the opportunity given to us, and we'll try to make the best use of it. Okay, and like I said, we are excited to have you on board, and we are excited to train you from tomorrow. Yeah, go ahead, Srikanth. In your Google Drive. Yes, Venkat. So all the sessions in this week are going to be free of cost. Okay. So you attend the sessions, make yourself comfortable, and only if you're confident, then you can probably pay. Okay. And I don't know anything about your payment details and other things. You might have to go back to your administrators, respective administrators, or the respective consultants. Okay. So treat me just like your trainer. Okay. I don't want to get involved into those things. Again, the another question, can I have your contact? I'm not supposed to share my contact details, guys, till the course is completed. I respect the terms and conditions of the institute. Okay, so I'm not supposed to share any of my details. Okay, but I'll be sharing my details in the last session so that we can connect. Okay, because I do believe in connections. Okay, I would love to connect every one of you, right? So at the end of this course, I'm gonna share you my contact details. I'll give you my WhatsApp number, I'll give you my LinkedIn ID and my email ID. You can connect to me the way you want to. Collab notebooks would be shared in your Google Drive. So for example, I have logged in with my Gmail account. If I go to this Gmail account drive, I should be able to see my Collab notebooks. Okay, cool. I'm excited for tomorrow's session, guys. And let me know in the chat window if you are excited too. So that's all I have. Have a good day for folks joining from India, and good night for folks joining from US. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Job assistance, I'm not gonna talk or assure anything on jobs, guys. I'm gonna help you out with the knowledge, but interviews or job assistance, again, you might have to talk to your consultants. I might not be the right person to answer that question. Hey, thank you for your wishes. Uh, I mean, Skype have some limitations, Lokeshwar Reddy, sorry, my bad. Okay, so we do prefer GoToMeeting for, GoToMeeting has a lot of advantages in terms of recording sessions on cloud and organizing these meetings. Okay, so we always prefer GoToMeeting or Zoom or Skype. I mean, for personal calls and all, Skype is okay. Again, Skype is almost deprecated. Microsoft have moved from Skype to Teams now. Okay, so using Skype might not be possible, and we also have our licenses procured for GoToMeeting and Zoom. Cool. I'm closing the session, guys. If you don't have any questions, I'll wait though for a couple of minutes for your questions. Cool. Thank you. See you tomorrow.